you digging. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it over here. You know? Okay. So while we're waiting on my man to set up or whatever, I just want to say peace to everybody watching, everybody tuning in. There you go. What's good, my man? How you feeling?
I'm good. What it look like?
Man, you know, it's all love like beans, for real. First and foremost,
Yo, your sound going in and out.
it's going in and out. Hold
Yeah.
on. Fix it. Hold on. See that. How about now? Tell me about that.
Okay, better. Yeah. Word.
We good now?
Yeah, we good now.
Okay, so yo,
Yeah.
we got my man, y'all already know. We gonna say my man Young Z from the Outsidaz in the building. You know what I'm saying? People show you love. Everybody coming in there. Definitely.
Bricks in the building. What up?
The Bricks is in the building, no doubt.
Yeah.
Let's get it on. So yeah, first and foremost, man, I definitely want to
Wait, turn it up some. Turn it up some.
turn it all the way up.
Yeah, I can't hardly hear you.
Oh shit, hold on. We have technical difficulties, but we good. How about that?
Say
How
something.
about that?
All right.
Yeah, you can hear me now, or is it still fucked up?
Why it keep dipping down?
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Woo! Okay. Part itself, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, I definitely want y'all to give you a round of applause to my man Young Z.
Yeah. Bricks,
Yes.
what it look like? Pace was good.
Got Pace One in here. Yeah, man, we gonna definitely get it on. So first and foremost, man, how you feeling today, man? You know what I'm saying? How's everything?
I'm good, man. I'm home from jail. I'm chilling. I'm knocking out music. I got a video about to drop next Saturday called Fuck You, Nigga. It's over.
Yo, first and foremost, man, it feels real good when you come home, but it feels even better when you coming home to something that's lucrative and that you could give out to the people, right? I mean, this has been a
Definitely.
long time coming, bro.
I mean, hip hop is one of those professions that you could do a jail bid and come home and just turn up. And that's what this year's all turn up. Starting from now, all turn up.
I ain't mad at that. So, first and foremost, for a while we haven't seen you. As you said, you just came home, you know what I'm saying? And while you was inside and we had the COVID shit going on, what was your first thought? What was your thoughts when this whole shit started, this COVID shit started? What was your thoughts about your maneuvers when you was coming home?
Man, when the COVID shit started in jail, niggas just thought they was gonna die. We all thought it was over. This is it. We dying. They not letting us out the cage. None of that shit. It was just like, you know what I mean? It was a horrible feeling in there. But shit you gotta deal with. But that shit was crazy. Niggas was really dying in jail. CEOs was dying. Niggas was dying. Like, yeah. It was fucked up.
Damn. And with that being said, right? With that being said, being in there, and I'm pretty sure you had, before it started, you had aspirations to do a lot of shit, and you're doing it now. But when you thought about it, when you started seeing people dying and all of this shit happening, did that like douse any of your fire to come out and be relentless?
Nah, I knew if I made it out of there alive, it was over. Somebody got to set a bar for how MC is supposed to be, supposed to act. Is somebody got to come home and do it. So I figured it should be me because, I'm the perfect person to set a bar on how songs should be laid out, how lyrics should be laid out, and minus all the shit that's unnecessary in music. Word.
Let's talk about that, because you know the state of hip hop right now is all about what you doing, what you wearing, how much how much money you got. It's all about the bag. And if ain't nobody talking about getting real fucked up off of these crazy extracurricular drugs and pills, and getting to the bag, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't really want to hear you, especially with the young people. So what's your take on that? Like, you know what I'm saying? With these youngsters doing what they doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you feel about the game right now?
I mean, it's room for it for younger people, but for people that have been around hip hop for a long time, like myself, you not telling me nothing new that I never been through, or you not taking me nowhere I never been. You taking me to the mall, you taking me to the car shop, like take me somewhere I've never been. I've been there before. That's not what impresses me in music. What impresses me is when you can take my mind out of me being in a rut right now, and your music could take me out of. That's what music is supposed to do. Soothe the savage beast. It's not really supposed to put you in the mood to go kill if you already ready to go kill.
That's a fact.
I mean, it's a lane for that because niggas is killing and that's what they want. But in all actuality, when it comes to rap music, killing should only be, I'm killing you lyrically. Not really killing you. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to take you away from the earth. I just want for me and you to know I'm better than you and the world to know it too. That's all I want. I don't want to kill you.
Exactly. See, when we was coming up in the grimy 90s, right? Especially where you from? You from the bricks, where it definitely goes down at. So with people who are living in an environment where it's very dangerous and any day could be your last, because we was youngsters just running around, what made you say to yourself, we not doing none of this. We not going to be spitting none of these kill. I'm going to have 100 bodies, or I'm selling all these drugs in my rhymes. What made y'all different? You know what I'm saying? Mainly you.
Because basically, that's how life is in the street. I'm from the era where if I did kill you, I'm not telling nobody. So I'm definitely not putting it in a song. These niggas nowadays will kill you, Facebook it live, and then rap about everything from where they went and bought the gun to they waited outside your mother's house. And that's just not feasible for a person who wants to be free and just drop music.
Exactly. And we really getting into the game to get away from that, not to run to.
Exactly.
You're right. I think that now today is the era of the drug user and the self-snitching, if that's a word. People snitch on themselves every day, all day, but they want to blame it on people like Vlad or this person or that person because they asking them about criminal activity and they jumping right into it and they jumping on it because it seems like they trying to show people how hard they are. Would you think that would be an accurate assessment?
I think if you doing shit in the hood, your name gonna be known. You don't gotta promote that and tell on yourself. It's just it don't really make sense. Niggas talk about stop snitching, but you snitching on yourself. So that really just don't make sense to me. And I want to take people that's going through that away from that. Like, I don't want to talk about Black Lives Matter, how black people been going through. It's a lane for that. Let them do that. I don't want to talk about my man in jail, niggas is snitching, ain't sending them no money. I could talk about all of that, but let them do that. I just want to take you out of it like bars, make you think like, oh shit, this nigga said, you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring that back. That just dope music, not kill music, not none of that shit. And there ain't nothing wrong with doing drugs because any rock and roller, hip hop, superstar, drugs is fun. But as long as you're not doing drugs like cocaine and, but weed, you know, liquor, PCP. No, let me stop. Don't do PCP. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean? Fun drugs, do your drugs, have your fun, get in your different mode, write your music. Drugs, when I ever took drugs, it was to write different kind of music that I wouldn't think about if I was sober.
Right. Right.
This drug takes my mind over here. So while I'm over here, I want to write how I would think while I'm over there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's what drugs is really for. You see, back in the old rock and roll days, they didn't do heroin and all these drugs to go out and kill. They did these drugs to lock down in somewhere and come up with a new vibe.
And be creative.
Yeah, word.
Exactly. So before we get into you know, in depth, right? You know, because there's a lot of people that know your life, but there's also some people in here that's gonna watch this that is just meeting Young Z for the first time. But we got one question by my lady Meth. She says, was you always so militant?
Well, you mean militant as far as like fuck everybody, or just like, cause I don't really see I'm militant. I really don't really give a fuck about nothing. You know what I mean? I take everything with a grain of salt. I know how niggas is. I know how women are. I just want to concentrate on my music and be the best in the category with the best that ever did it.
No question. And she said your way of thinking. I was just gonna clarify that, but she's like, in the way you think. So you kind of like summed it up for really. You know what I mean? It's not. It's really the environment. You know what I'm saying? That you come from. Yeah. That's gonna make you think like that.
Word.
You know.
Yeah, you know. We are a product of where we're from.
Absolutely. So really quick, for those who don't know, who the young people that are watching who don't know who Young Z is, he was definitely a part of one of the legendary groups, the Outsidaz from Brick City, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Some of you might know the notable names like Pace One and Rod Digger, but there was also other members, also such as Slangton, and later on, rest in peace first and foremost, but later on, Eminem and Bizarre as well. But let's go back real quick, man. So coming up, right, outside of getting into other stuff, no pun intended, you know, what made you want to start rhyming?
Just basically, listening to like Sugar Hill Gang, Melly Mel, and all of them just gave me a good feeling. Oh, I like this type of music. But then I got locked up in California when I was like 15, and then like I heard Looking at the Front Door from Large Professor, and that's what kicked me into gear. Like I could do this shit, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And listening to the Rakims and the LL Cool J's, I was like, I could fit in. I could do this shit. And you know, that's what kicked me to start writing. You know what I mean?
No question. So when you was in school, right? Who was like the nicest in the school that you said to yourself, yo, or just even around town that was like, yo, I need to write for that motherfucker right there, because that's the person. If I beat him,
okay. Let me tell you, I was in like junior high school. And then this dude, everybody was like, yo, he fresh as hell. So he asked me if I wanted to battle. So I was like, bet. So I'm writing for a couple days and shit. But I know he fresh as hell. So when it started, right, they was like, let's flip a coin to see who's going to rap first. Now, all the people in the school around in the schoolyard. So I was like, now, we don't got to flip a coin. I'm going to rap first. So I started rapping, you know what I mean? I'm getting a little oohs and ahs and whoos and ahs. Soon as he started rapping, a bird flew by and shitted on him. And everybody was like, ah, and ran off. Like, see, you won. Word is the ball.
Yo, that's
he
crazy.
He didn't say nothing. It was over.
So that was a default. You know, the crazy thing about it, you would have said, yeah, that's why I started rhyming. That's what started with a bird shitting on you. Some crazy shit.
That shit was definitely crazy.
Oh man, if he was really witty enough, he would have fucked around and used that shit and said, "Yo, they always say that when a bird shit on you was good luck, and they go into his shit." But you know, when they young, you don't get that. So you want that by default.
Word.
So you started rhyming. You know what I'm saying? You rhyming. Everybody knows that you know what I'm saying? You like one of the top dudes around. So how did you start forming the Outsidaz, or was you in a separate group before that?
Well, the Outsidaz really was a bunch of groups like me as a soloist.
Okay.
I had No Brain Class, which is my brother and my DJ. Pace One had the Real Characters, which was him and his boy. DU had the Teammates, and Slang had Dopeless, which was him and Loon. We was all groups, but we formed one group, the Outsidaz. You know what I mean? So even Digga, she had her crew, Twice the Flavor, with her and Kachia. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
okay.
We was all separate entities that form one group. You know what I mean? Word.
Definitely. So when y'all actually formed like Voltron, right? Because a lot of people will arguably say y'all was the first to do something like that, right? You had Wu-Tang that came out later. You had other groups that came later, but y'all was like the first, really. You know what I'm saying? Because especially for me, because I grew up in Jersey. So hearing y'all, you know, you had guys like the Orphans, you had the Orphanage from Burke County, you had Artifacts, you had Red and them up there. You had a lot of cats. So you guys kind of stood out because y'all was so deep. You feel me? Yeah. And it was almost like all of y'all was nice. So with that being said, was y'all like traveling around, like going to New York and battling cats, or just battling people all around Jersey, or was it just like we know we the nicest, and we gonna do these showcases, and we gonna just put our music out, or whatever the case it may be, in order for us to get signed?
Well, we started off battling because each member of the group we met at a battle. I met Pace Dew at a battle. Then we met Axe at a battle. We met like basically every artist in the Outsidaz at a battle, except Digga and As Is. You know what I mean? But we could be just riding around in the streets in a car and see a crowd of dudes rapping and jump out and just start battling. And then we used to we didn't really have no money. Sometimes we used to hop the train in New York, go to like a show. Or like say Wu-Tang or Biggie or anybody, and we'll stand outside and try to battle every celebrity that come in the door. We should do that all the time.
You had to do that because around that era, it was usually the cipher. So you would see people rhyming in the cipher, and then all of a sudden, two people that think they the nicest, they'll go at it, and that will actually ignite the battle. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've battled many cats. I've battled many cats that went on to be prevalent in the game, just like that, from just standing in the cipher. And when it come around, it's your turn. But it was never like, oh, you go. Nah, you jump in there, and as soon as somebody starts slowing down, you start hitting up real quick. And you better say something crazy because this is the streets. You know what I mean? And, you know, cut you off or step in front of you and start getting busy. So with that right there, man, I definitely know that part of it. So when y'all started heating up, you know, the Outsidaz, the name is carrying. And I do have to go into this, right? Because this is definitely history. So a young kid comes in, a white kid comes in, and he definitely is a part of y'all team, and everybody knows him as Eminem. So, but he wasn't Eminem when he joined y'all, when he started hanging around, correct?
Slim Shady,
definitely. And how did he actually start running with you guys?
Well, I met M and Bizarre at a show when I was on tour with the Fugees. And you know, they came up to me, played me a couple joints, and I liked them, and brought them to New Jersey to stay at my house and work on some music. So that's what we did, and you know what I mean. We built it from there. You know what I mean. You know, Outsidaz is like a group of everybody trying to be better than each other, but we also help each other. You know what I mean? If this person don't like, this person will tell me, I'll tell this person. It's not no fighting over the who's better. You know what I mean? It's just like people could think I'm better than him, but he could think I'm better than, you know what I mean? But I could think he better than me. You know what I mean? So it was like a cool thing, and we would help each other out. And when M came, you know, we just started molding his style to be aggressive, not give a fuck, talk about anybody, like our style. But him being white, his mind is different. So he took it to how he grew up and what better worked for him. You know what I mean? He got to deal with Dr. Dre, and it was on from there. We was everywhere. We was touring. I did like 8 tours with M. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Word. And before I get into that, I definitely want to say, you know, knowing that, hearing the underground tapes that y'all did, right? I remember, I knew that y'all had Rod Digger, but I also, when I heard him spit, I thought he was a girl. I thought y'all had 2 girls down with y'all. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never seen him before. I just heard it. So I'm like, oh shit, they got another girl, and the other girl is nice too. Until you know, later on in life, it kind of manifested like, nah, that's a dude. That's a white boy. Yeah, it made it crazier. So, you know, you definitely mentioned that you went on tour with the Fugees because of the Cowboy record. Now, y'all did that joint. It was you, Pace, Digger, and the Fugees, right? John Ford, he actually came in later and added to the song. Is it safe to say?
Yeah, word.
So with doing that record, how much of that record strengthened your career? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the Fugees as a whole strengthened my career because I was on tour with them before while they was working on the score. You know what I mean? I did a lot of writing on the score for Lauren and Praz, and I didn't get no credit for it. You know what I mean? I did a lot of writing for Lauren. So, you know, it just helped boost me up mentally, and you know, it gave me money. You know, the Fugees was like everything at one time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was really a fun thing. You know, they had asked me to do Cowboys with the Fugees and, you know, whoever else. And I was like, let me put my boys on too. So, you know, I told them, let me put Digger and Pace on this song. And they let me do it. And it was over. We all 3 rocked it. You know what I mean?
You know what, you just said you used to write for Lauryn Hill, right? So that right there, I've never heard that nowhere else. So y'all heard it right here. Well, this is hip hop radio. With that being said, that just goes to show how diverse you are with your skills. Because did you know "Killing Me Softly" was just a song me and Lauren did in the studio one night. She was doing the "Killing Me Softly." I jumped on there. Yo, L, take him to the bridge. You know, all of that shit. One time, and they label liked it so much that they took me off and put Wyclef on there because, you know, he Fugees. Right. And he did the exact same thing I did. He didn't change a thing. 1 time, 2 times. Yo, L, take him to the bridge. Right. You know, that's how shit was back then. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, we ain't gonna pay him. Well, we could just take him, re-record the joint, put it out. That's how shit was going down back then. You know, and it still goes on now. There's a lot of people like, yo, they ain't give me my publishing for writing that whole shit. And with that being said, right, with things like that, what do you think you would have done differently? You know what I'm saying? Had you known what you know now, with being in the studio with a lot of these people.
Well, not too much because everything really worked out in my favor. You know what I mean? Like you can't just call them up and say, "Let me be on your album." They got to call you. So, you know, in the long run, with these people calling me and me being on a joint, getting exposure, it just really did me good. Made a lot of money. Fucking with Redman. Fucking with the Fugees. Fuck, I made the most money I ever made. Fucking with M. I made tons of money. Fucking with the Outsidaz. So, you know, it was all a good experience. I don't think nothing's bad. I don't think I would have did anything different. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. And where I am a year from now is where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean?
No question.
So, yeah.
No question. And when the Nightlife album drops, right? You know, I know it was in a frenzy, but how did you feel? How was your feeling when you said, hold on now, this right here is me and my team. We out here and we're going to just annihilate the whole industry with this shit right here. But what really happens is when we go out on tour and we start promoting this shit, we show them what we really got. How did that make you feel, man?
Man, it made me feel like, you know, this is what I was meant to do. It made me feel like, because, you know, I never really asked to be rich and famous when it comes to rap. I just asked to be acknowledged by my peers. You know what I mean? So every step of the way with the Outsidaz was like my dreams come true. You know what I mean? And so I just built my own self from there. Like, you know, when you're with a group with 9 people and everybody rap fresh, you have to try to do what you have to do to stand out. And that's what I always do when I'm on a song with anybody. I wanna stand out. I wanna be noticed. So, you know, I could get a comeback if a comeback comes around. You know what I mean? And that's just always how I be. It's like, I don't know, it's like an Incredible Hulk feeling. Like I could think this is the freshest I could get, but then when I say the song with me and Jay Electronica, I just try to get fresher. Or me with the song with Cannabis, I just try to get fresher. It don't stop. Like, no, it don't stop here. It's like an Incredible Hulk thing. The more pressure, the more I'm going to bust out. You know what I mean?
Of course. What was your best time when you was making an album with the team? What was the best time? Would you say, was it the Nightlife joint or was it the Bricks?
I don't know, because it was kind of both of them. Because the Nightlife joint, we recorded in the hood at I forgot the name of the studio, but it was in like East Orange. We used to have so much fun in there recording the joints, you know what I mean? And then when we recorded the Bricks, we recorded it at Rough House in PA. And we just like the living, the house parties, the kitchen with the servers and this extra fun, you know what I mean? Word. So I don't know. I think it was all just a great experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I can dig it. You know, because it's probably kind of hard to take one over the other because of the fact that when you do it, when you in the hood and you do the album, you don't know you putting together a classic, or you don't know what you putting together. You know what I'm saying? You just having fun. And then when you reach that notoriety from the first album, now the second album comes and you got this money behind you. Now it's like we having a party, but it's not that same hunger. But we still having fun because now we ain't got to worry about how we gonna pay for this next meal. We got, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to worry about that.
It kind of was the same hunger on a lyrical level. You know what I mean? Okay. We wasn't rich when we got the deal. Right. Like we was making money in the hood. We started up 20th Street, so we was making, our spot was making like $10,000 a night between all, you know, whoever else was hustling, like 5 or 6 niggas hustling in there. But when we got the deal, it was more like, all right, we got the deal, now we got to go harder. So it wasn't like, oh, we got it good, now we can just like say anything. Nah, it's never been like that.
Never been like that. And you got
you got one of the most
distinctive voices in all of hip hop. Like anytime you jump on a record, you know it's Young Z. You know what I'm saying? You already know. And one thing's for sure, you got a lot of people in here. They spitting them lyrics. I'm popping pills and shopping still for Glocks and still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So with that being said, right, I want to take it to really quick to the Blaze battle, because I'm gonna tell you like this. You know, I'm going back because these are the times I ain't never get a chance to talk to you about that. But when you did the Blaze battle, I ain't gonna front. Me, I was like, I don't want him in it. He should not do it. He's above this. But you gotta understand something. I also, in the same breath, I said, but he's an MC. So he's gonna do this anything, because I see Craig G was still doing it. I see plenty of people still doing it. But I was just like, he don't need this. But you know what I'm saying? So what made you say, was it just the fact that you said, I know I can do this in my sleep, so I'm gonna just jump on there? Or was it a favor for somebody, or was it just like, yo, I just happen to be in the right spot?
Nah, it's just more like who could be better than me? Like, let's go. Like, fuck it. I think I'm the best. So if you enter the battle and they put me against you, then we just got to see who's the best. I never been scared. Like, I grew up doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was more like a let's go, let's, because, you know, my motto always was, if this person is your favorite rapper, once I battle him and you see it, I want to be your favorite rapper now when you leave.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, the channels was different. It wasn't social media. It wasn't all of that stuff. It was just, you got to get out there and be in front of a crowd to get that this person go back to Tennessee, this person go back to Idaho, this person was there, he go back to St. Louis and talk about you. That's the only way you're going to get it out there like that.
No doubt. So
now you can see one IG message and niggas in Alaska just like, oh shit. It wasn't like that back then, nigga.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. You had to be outside. You had to be doing stuff. And
you had to rap in front of that nigga from Alaska.
Yeah, yeah.
And him get a CD of it and take it back.
Yeah, definitely. How much? Yeah. Okay, so how much of that actually catapulted you to do other things? You know, from people just seeing you on that.
Well, I mean, a lot of people like battling got me. Like, I met KRS-One battling. One time I'm at a show, Digga and her partner, Kachia, Twice the Flavor, was doing a show with Trigger the Gambler and what's the other nigga name? Smooth Hustler. So they doing the show, right? So I had to take a piss. I go downstairs. I pass this room. It's a whole bunch of people in there rapping, but I got to piss, so I go piss. After I piss, I come back and go to the room, and this nigga's rapping and shit. I see some celebs in there, whatever. So it was like 7 niggas rapping. So I bust a verse, and then it was like, all right, we gonna battle. It's gonna go me, him, and then me. Then me. I said, no, it's gonna go me, you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me. So, you know, he bust a rap, I bust a rap. So when the next nigga was about to bust a rap, I just felt a hand on my shoulder. And a nigga was like, wait, let him go again. It was KRS-One. And I just spit again. And then KRS-One was like, no, let him go one more time. I spit again, and KRS-One was like, come with me. Yeah. Best friends ever since. He produced mad joints on my. So that's how I be meet. You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah. You know, and it's got to be, you know, from our era, it's got to be gratifying when somebody like KRS-One, who we all looked up to, you know what I'm saying, is like giving you like, yo, hold up, nah, we got to talk, because. Let me tell you this story. One time KRS-One invited me to a party. It was like maybe like a month after I met him. We had been working on music and shit like that. He producing, Busta Rhymes too. So he invited me to this party. So now when I get to this party, it's like Wu-Tang there, Nas,
it's like so many rappers there. Master Ace, KRS One on stage, like, yo, I'm gonna bring to the stage one of my favorite MCs and whatever. And Nas was right there, like had his hand up, ready for the microphone. And KRS One was like, Young Z! And brought me on stage. I just jumped on stage like, word, fuck it. Word.
Dope. Hey, look, because you know he knew that you had bars. See, a lot of people don't understand. Cats from Jersey has bars. People always say New York, most recently Philly. You know what I'm saying, in the recent few years, but they don't understand that there's so many dangerous cats in Jersey, and what Jersey rappers really concentrate on is skill, first and foremost. That's the first thing that we concentrate on. Exactly, because the more creative and the more your skills are strengthened, the better you're gonna be. Because you can make records, we doing that, but your skill got it. Because there's gonna be somebody, you might be doing a show, but there's always gonna be somebody that want to jump on that stage and test you.
Let me tell you, people say bars don't matter no more. But I don't believe that. I believe you can spit. If you talk about killing this nigga, you can put bars in there. If you talk about mother forgive me, you can put bars in there. If you're talking about getting money, you can put bars in there. You're supposed, that's what music is about. Rap music is about rhyming, like smart things you say, making people think. Like a beautiful verse would be funny, current, up to date, something in there about women, and then something in there that you might not understand it. You might like the way it sounds, but then 3 months later you see something on TV like, oh shit, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. People see that people don't understand. You got to be creative in this thing of ours, because if you're not, you know what I'm saying, you just gonna be one of those people. Yeah, he could put together a couple of words or whatever, but it's really not hitting hard. So let's talk about what you're doing today, man. First and foremost, that hoodie right there, I got to get one of those real soon. So I'll be tapping in. But tell the people about the merch real quick before we go into the project.
Well, you know, I got the Young Z, the Outsider hoodies. You know what I mean? They're $50. DM me at Young Z Bars, and you know, order your hoodie. Or just chop it up, or we got beats or whatever. If you rap, want to do a collabo, whatever. Young Z Bars on Instagram. That's me. I'm right there. I check my joint all the time. You know what I mean? And while I'm here, I want to shout out all my Instagram friends and people I'm doing work with. First, I want to shout out my girl at DJ Coco Chanel. That's wifey. You know what I mean? She's such a supportive person to my project and to my life, and I love her. And my boy Mike at Cycle Stop, New Jersey. You know what I mean? That's one of my friends with Styles McFly. I'm doing an EP with Tayemo Denko. You know what I mean? Hit him up on Instagram. Shaughnessy Ice Cold. I got a video coming out next Saturday. He did the beats for the project. My boy S550, Ox the Mogul. Renato Afate, who shoot my videos. Pace One. Pone Pacino, 123 Spud, Hovanisa, Salami Stay Fly, Runt Dog, Gilla, you know what I mean? Haas the Chef, Piff James, Act Tiffer, Runt Dog, all my peoples. The only R, all my peoples on Instagram and my personal friends. Let's go.
No doubt, man. So before we get into some of the people, because we're gonna probably bring some people up here. We're gonna bring at least 1 or 2 people that want to spit for Young Z, right? But before we do that, you know what I'm saying? I want to ask you. So, what would you tell an artist who wants to get in the game but doesn't think that he has because there's an avenue on this. This is what we're doing right now. But what would you tell him the most important thing that he or she needs to know in order to get their career started or catapult their career?
I mean, the most important thing to know is that it's music, but it's also business. So you have to make sure you up on your business. You know what I mean? If you're a new artist, you know, nowadays you could just go buy a computer and hook that shit up and do a song, shoot a video in your own house, and have it 1 million views the next day. So y'all got it good. So just try hard. Don't just write the first thing that comes to your head and then just spit it, like proofread it, go over it, try to make it better. And, you know, just try hard. Because if you don't try hard and you come out and you get a little bit of fame, in the new era when I'm coming back, if I don't like it, I'm going to say something about it. And I'm not one of these MCs that diss people, and when they diss me back, I don't say nothing. No, nigga, no. I'm on you. I'm going to shut shit down, and I'm going to set some standards for this shit. No matter how high I go, whoever hear me is going to be standards for whatever else is coming out after me. It starts with next Saturday when my video drop. It's called Fuck You, produced by Shaughnessy Ice Cold.
Now, Fuck You. Tell me about that joint right there. What inspired that? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand, right? When somebody says fuck you and they name that title of the record, Fuck You, it has a meaning behind it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
It has been a lot of controversy going on with the Outsidaz, with, you know, the Eminem thing or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, if a person come at me in any type of way, fuck you. Let's go. So it's directed to anybody who has anything negative to say. And lyrically, you're going to hear it, and it would be stupid to try to rebuttal. Just keep your comments to your boys personally. Don't try to put it on wax, nigga.
Question.
Fuck you, nigga.
Yo, since with all of that, you know, that controversy about this and that, you know what I mean? We ain't gonna get all into it because you know
no, we're not.
Yeah, they could go to YouTube and check that out, right, if they want to. But has M even reached out to you, or anybody from the camp reached out and just said, you know what?
I'm doing music with Bizarre right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so we got plans to put something together and present it to M. Cause you know, you gotta have things already done, like albums already done now to be presented. Not coming with it like a demo and try to, you know what I mean? So yeah. I got things to work. So before it's over, you're likely to hear music with me and M, because you can't deny dope shit. If you want to do dope shit with dope people, you can't deny it. But if you want to do shit with people you know you better than, then that's the lane you want to take. But if you want to go against somebody that y'all going to be hitting head to head like that, which is going to take music to another level, then I can't be denied. You know what I mean?
No question. So I definitely can appreciate how solid you've been. You know what I'm saying? Because all I hear out your mouth is, don't nobody owe me nothing. And you showing and proving that. You know what I'm saying? Over and over again. You know, just putting out the merch, doing your new project right now. So with that being said, man, first of all, I salute you for that. You know what I mean? Because it takes a real man to really, really, really put that out there and let everybody know, like, don't nobody know. I control my fate. I control my destiny. It ain't about who I'm attached to. It ain't about who I once was. So I definitely appreciate that. So with this new project, man, tell us about how this new project is coming along. You know what I mean? We got the video coming out. Tell us about this new project, man.
Well, I got a joint. It's just me and a couple of my friends. I'm doing an EP with my man Shaughnessy. You know what I mean? It's called Fuck You. And then I got an EP coming out with my bro, Tayemo Dinko. So both the projects is almost done. I got 2 more to do for each project, and then it's over. You know what I mean? And then it's flooding from here on there. Videos, maybe 2 videos a month. No, it's just flooding. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you really serious about hip hop, you just keep flooding.
Yeah,
So
no
I'm
doubt.
gonna just flood all spring and summer, and then keep it moving and see where we go from here. I got you know a website coming out where I'm gonna have special things going on my website. I don't want to reveal too much. You know, it's gonna be a membership thing, and you know what I mean. Got a lot of shit going. I got a Feed Me Foundation is a nonprofit organization that I started, and the website is almost finished where I help people. You know what I mean? Because I know how it feels to be, you know, homeless and not knowing where your next meal come from. So, you know, I've been blessed. So I've been helping people for years, passing out food. I don't really talk about it too much. I just do it. But now I need some help from my friends. So, you know, to help me. It's rougher times than it was back then. Back then I was doing it myself. Now I need some help. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that. That's real admirable right there, because it shows that, you know, even you're not going for self. So I definitely appreciate that and salute that to the utmost of my heart. And you know, I good luck with everything with that, because that's the most important part. Giving the people, giving back to the people. You know what I'm saying? And helping those. You never know who you're gonna be saving, whose life you're gonna change when we're doing that. So whatever we could do to help support that, man, you know what I mean? We here, and I'm gonna definitely be tapping in with you with that as well. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it. You know what I mean? My girl Coco, she a humanitarian. She been all over the world. She helps people too, and so me and her is gonna be partners in this. And so, you know, y'all can hit her up at DJ Coco Chanel, best DJ ever to me. You know what I mean? My friend for 30 years, my girl, and you know what I mean? It's time.
Ain't too many DJs fucking with her either. You know, she's been doing it for years. She's a legend as well. So, like, you know, you really got a rich history, bro. I'm gonna tell you that. Last question before we give somebody an opportunity to come in here and, you know, give you some bars, right? How does Young Z want to be remembered?
As a MC that said the most off the wall shit that made shit rhyme that you don't know how the hell he did it. Word.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate that, and I can definitely understand that, because with the shit that you say is just crazy. Like, who the fuck comes up with that type of shit? You know what I'm saying? It goes back to what you said. It's all about thinking about what you're saying and thinking about what you're writing, going back and actually making it all make sense.
You have to be smart. Read. Look at current events. You can't just talk about one thing. You have to be smart. Like, niggas is smart out here. You smart. You're intellectual. You know what I mean? So to heighten your excitement in a verse, it has to be just as smart as you are.
Absolutely.
It can't be ninth grade level and excite you.
Right. Yeah.
So be smart in your rhymes. Be smart. Read.
No question. No question. So real quick, right? Since we got my man Young Z up in here, and you already know he's a lyricist, if anybody in here who wants to tap in real quick, we only gonna give two of y'all a chance to spit some bars. Please don't come in here with no trash. Or if you have one question, we're going to give 3 questions to people. So we only going to get 3 questions. We only have one right now. And my man says, when is the album dropping? He just told you when the projects, you know, he's working on 2 projects. So he just answered that. Anybody else want to come in? We're going to give y'all 10 seconds. If not, we're going to give Young Z back his night. Because he knows he has a lot to get back to. All right, so you know what? When we put somebody up on the spot, they don't want to come in.
That's all good.
Nah, but that's what's up. No, that's what's up. You know, and you guys ain't gotta be scared. But I know we got some MCs in here. But before we go, man, I definitely want to say, you know, I appreciate you. I definitely thank you for being on the show. I'm definitely going to be looking out for everything that you're doing because, you know, coming up, I didn't even know we was around the same age. That's crazy. Because when I was coming up, I always looked at y'all like y'all was way older. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I definitely thank you very much. Hold on. Wait a minute. Before we go. Okay, so we got 2 questions. 2 more. That's it. So is it possible to make an MP3 version of Rain or Shine available for sale? That's a good question.
I could do that. Hit me up in the DM and I can put it together for you.
No question. All right. So we got one more. One more in the QA. Did you introduce KRS-One to Channel Live?
No, but that's my man, Serve-ism. I got a joint that I just wrote. I'm about to jump in the studio right now and finish a joint with my guy right there. Serve-ism. What up, my nigga?
You already know. All right, so okay, so we got one person that says he want to spit something. All right, so I'm gonna bring him in real quick and let him spit something. And please, this is hip hop radio, so make sure that when you come in, please come correct. My man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
What's your name?
What up?
Hey, I got something for you. I got something.
What's your name? First, before you spit, what's your name, man?
Oh, my name's Frankie Williams. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. 16.
Okay.
All right. Check this out real quick. I'm flowing on every track, kiss the feedback. Doing this, getting my pockets fat and not flat. I attack any fool trying to kill black. You want to smoke by getting choked, and that's that. My ill flow will expose the combat, which means I'm coming through with the comeback. Surviving the tough streets is what you lack, Jack. If you asking for your stolen stacks, you ain't getting shit back. My home is very rough, so leave it alone. Electricity sends static shock to your collarbone. We gotta kick your ass if you change the tone. Our strong fists that don't miss, bear the stone. We's an army, the ultra team, with heavy steam. We're coming at you real fast, just like laser beams. Be quiet, we on the ride, be on the diet, cause we're coming with that cardio, nigga, so you better try it. We raised like a bear out the case, a steel cage. We on the same page when we strike quick like a 12 gauge. To engage with a rampage. My big wage and money that I get from round on stage. This is our battle. We might always tattle, but stay back with that paddle, cause I have a snake rattle. Bust back this shit right. Oh shit, bust back, this rough rack, this shit smack, fall back, so I plan the attack, handle the Mac, I'm black, toe cat, click clack, that's the get, and you don't fuck with my peoples at all, then fuck that.
Okay. So Z, what you think about the homie right here?
I mean, I think, you know, just continue to write, try harder, try to, you know, you're coming with 12 gauge. You got to think how many people use 12 gauge in their rap. How many people use attack? I'm coming back to attack. The rap with a back. How many people use that? You gotta think about how you could be different than anybody else and say things people have never said before.
Yeah.
No question. Definitely keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep writing. And one thing I like about what you did is when you stopped, you knew that you stopped. You said, "Oh shit," but you got right back on your square. So a lot of people will stop, and that'll be it. And I was gonna stop you, but I said, "Nah." He brought himself back. So you know what? You take that, and you take what he just told you, and you put that together, and you continuously write your rhymes, and make sure that you choose different words that other
But the thing is,
Hold on.
now I know you, Frankie Williams, right?
Yep.
Now I know you. So now next time I hear something from you, it gotta be you took and what we said and stepped it up.
No question. We appreciate you coming on and spitting for Young Z, man. And you know, people, your Instagram before we let you go.
And fuck you.
Tell people your IG, man.
Oh, it's Frankie be chilling. So go follow it because I love old hip hop better than new hip hop. I'm telling you, I love everything about old hip hop. You don't agree with me? Then you could just go check out my page right now. Like, I'm just saying, man. You know.
I believe you. Hit me up, Young Z Bar.
We appreciate you, man. Thanks for tapping in.
All right, peace.
All right. Hey, Z, you got time for one more?
Yeah, let's go. I ain't in a rush.
Okay.
Wait,
okay,
let me grab a blunt. Hold up.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, I gotta roll something up. Go ahead.
Okay. So, hold on. We had somebody trying to come in. Who was that? Let's see.
That should have gave mad niggas heart to come in now.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? And that's what I love. He was a young boy that wasn't afraid to come in, and he shot his shot, and he did his thing. What's up, Natasha Loves? Everybody go follow Natasha Loves. She definitely has a great show called Natasha Knows Show, and she's definitely going to be one of the people that we interview in the near future. That's home team right there. Yo, so I guess who we got? Who else we got, y'all? Because we ain't got a lot of time for Z, man. The time is gone. You know what I mean? We cut the interview short because we're going to let somebody come in. So hold on. We got one more question. So it said, rhyme with orange.
Who, me? Rhyme with orange?
I guess they want you to spit. I guess, I don't know. But hold on. Before he spits, he may take us out with one, but we need one more person to come in here and show what they got. Let me see if I can get one of my peoples in here that just tapped in. Hold on. He's definitely an MC. Let me see if he'll come in. Okay. So, but yeah, so you know, a lot of these young guys that be spitting or whatever, you know, I like to give them some encouragement. That's why I like what you said. Like, yo, you ain't gotta rhyme the same words every time. You know what I mean? Because you know, if you shotgun, there's a whole bunch of guns that you could use. But he was dope in his rap. I like how his confidence.
Yeah, nah, his heart was bigger than his rapping skill.
And a lot of times that's what you need.
Heart will get you, you know what I mean, noticed. Yeah. You got the best rhymes in the world, but if you scared to rap, you never gonna get noticed.
Exactly. So somebody says Z gotta spit using the word orange, rhyme with it, orange.
Let me see. I come through, I'm like the bear that ate the porridge to all the sergeants in South Orange couldn't draw him with a warrant.
There you go.
All the sketch artists in South Orange at the sergeants couldn't draw him. Some shit, I don't know.
That's what's up. Yo,
what?
So it's like ain't nobody else gonna come in, man. So we definitely gonna give you yours back. But really quick, do you want to get the people just a good 8 or 16 before we go?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. I said, keep knocking on the devil's door, somebody gonna answer. Fuck around and get bone cancer. Or your forehead grow antlers. My beat's like a gangsta opera. And I feel like Frank Sinatra. I flood the hood with blood like Superstorm Sandy. And my killer's dumb, they shoot the wrong family. I just bought this sawed off. Cause the boy's Porsche look like Worcestershire sauce. While you talk your jaws off, I toss a Molotov through your boss's small loft. I do rappers very bad, trust me. Little boys get touched like Jerry Sandusky. All right, yeah.
There we go. Hey, Yo, I definitely appreciate you tapping in with us. We definitely
Word.
going to continue to, you know, just bump your shit over here at This Is Hip Hop Radio. We'll be tapping in real soon. You know, checking up on the project and everything like that. One more time, man. Let the people know the next joint coming out, right? But the name of it is called "Fuck You."
Fuck you. Yeah, video should be dropping this next Saturday coming up. You know what I mean? Young Z is a solo joint. I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm trying to give y'all what y'all want. Let's continue to move forward. Shout out to all my people. I love y'all. Peace.
Peace, man. And we'll see y'all next time. All right. Yo, Z, man, we appreciate you for being on This Is Hip Hop Radio. I'm your host, LS, and we see you next time, man. Salute.
Peace.
Down. And just like that, there you have it. I appreciate everybody who has tapped in, who was sitting here and just chilling with me and my man Young Z. We'll definitely be tapping in another hour. Actually, yeah, in one more hour, we'll have the young lady. She goes by the name of Yvonne Sanat Jones from Ruthless. So y'all just stay tuned. We'll be right back here, so don't go nowhere. We got a double feature for y'all tonight. And y'all already know my slogan, man. Always show love, always stay true. You never know who belongs to who. God over money, money under family. Follow This Is Hip Hop Radio. We see y'all soon. One.